So many of us are seeking a deeper understanding of the physical and unseen world around us, while trying to connect and understand ourselves. Seeking enlightenment, understanding of the paranormal, holistic options, whole body healing, the metaphysical, and finding a personal connection to a higher consciousness. Together, we will journey and seek understanding of our own soul's fulfillment and that which lies beyond the veil. If you found yourself here, trust this is the next step in your spiritual journey. Welcome to Soul Flight.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to see you all here tonight. I do apologize. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. So if I start coughing, I will mute. I'm not going to die. I'm just kind of getting through this upper respiratory issue I have going on. But I'm really glad you guys are popping in. I know it's so busy right now with the holiday season, but that you're taking time to come here because I really think you're going to enjoy tonight's guest. And we have a really good topic that I think everybody will like. It's about plugging in. It's about how do we connect to the magic of the world, because I think so many of us miss these signs because we're caught up in these very busy moments like we are right now in the holiday season. Just when life happens and we get caught up in these things. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Sharon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please help me welcome today's guest, DeeDee Moon Flyer. Hi, DeeDee.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did you have a good
I'm
holiday?
good. Yes, happy holidays. It's so nice to see your face. I miss getting to talk to you more regularly.
Yes, I miss you too. I hope you guys had a great holiday.
We did. It's been busy, and then whatever this is going around just kind of hit throughout the household. So we're all kind of coming out on the other side of that. Which I think is just, this time of the year, we seem to kind of get run down just in general with everything going on and the expectations I think that we hold ourselves to. Hi, Dina. I do sound a little bit better. Yes, thank you. But I don't know, for you or what other people do to really stay grounded, I guess. I think that's so important. How do you try to stay grounded in all this craziness?
Yeah, there is a lot of craziness going on right now. It's been a crazy year, I think, for everybody. And grounding, I'm having problems grounding sometimes right now. To be honest, I find at night I turn on meditations. I do a lot of meditative work. A lot of art type work right now is really important for me, and trying to reconnect with spirit.
Yeah. And I like how, a lot of people, I think we tend to in this field, because people look to us, right, for that guidance and how are you guys doing it? But that honesty of it's a struggle, because it is a struggle for collectively a lot of us.
Yes, especially this year. It just seems like spirit is challenging me every chance it gets.
Yes. Yeah. You've really been dealt a lot, especially in the last couple weeks too. It seems like it just kind of comes on.
Yeah.
Why do you think this year? Because a lot of people are reflecting that too. What do you think is different, or that spirit is trying to pull us through this year that they're trying to prepare us for?
I think it's a slap in the face that we all need to, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have an injury that's really getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
And I have to see a specialist. But what it is making me do is slow down.
Right.
And, I'm a retired dancer, so I've been looking for something else in my life. And I think for me personally, and I think for a lot of us, it's trying to slow us down to do what we're supposed to do and to grow. Last year started out really strong, and then there were all these lessons for everybody, and heartache, illness, really rough lessons I'm finding.
Yeah. Do you think with, because you're not the first person, and I was even thinking about that, Christmas week, right? Great week to be sick. And I hold myself to these expectations, and I'm like, well, how will it be Christmas if I don't make these cookies? Which is really nonsense. But it's, and my kids too, they're like, Mom, it's okay, if we don't have those cookies. But Dina says, Stephanie, slow down. That would be a change. I feel like a lot of people have said what you're saying is these things are coming in because spirit's intentionally stopping us or slowing us down. But as you were talking, I had this thought. We have so much going on even in society, or things that, I'm not the only one who will be like, oh, I'm going to check the weather, and I'll look on my phone, and then I find I'm distracted 20 minutes later from what I'm really supposed to be doing. Do you think that this is a theme, I guess, in our lives, that we know what hi Diana, what we're meant to look at or to accomplish or strive to, but we get distracted?
I think everything is very distracting right now. The energy is very distracting. I'm fortunate. I have a really good husband who has kept my spirits up and kept me very grounded during this. Not everybody has that.
Right.
But it is very true. The distraction is here right now for everyone. Like, I'll get up to do something, and 20 minutes later, I'm watching something really dumb on TV.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, oh, couch, TV, I'm done.
Right.
There's like a numbness going on.
There is.
I'm not quite sure. I think all of us is forced to, it's almost like something's going, and we're in a standstill.
Right.
And if we don't, as a race, as people go, I think we need to go back to kindness. I know it sounds really strange.
Right. I don't think so, because that's, it's interesting. And I'm sure for you too, because we talk to a lot of different people. You're a podcast host also, and you have a great show, which I want to talk about in a little bit. Hi, Michael. Thank you for tuning in. And you sit down and you talk to so many different people in different collectives and different modalities. But the themes, these underlining threads, are all so similar, it seems, no matter who I'm talking to, bringing back kindness, not just kindness with each other, but kindness with ourselves, that finding that focus. Do you think if enough of us start to pay attention to the undercurrents, that ripple effect will start in the hive mind, I guess, or the collective?
I think it will. And I think when you tell people kindness, they think for some reason it has to be this big thing. It could be something as simple as at a grocery store seeing a person in a wheelchair that can't reach something, and you get that for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a small act of kindness, but it spreads.
Yes.
And we need more of that. And I think what's happening is we have wars going on, and they're just not small wars. These are big wars going on with a lot of destruction and a lot of death.
Yes.
And anyone empathic, anyone that's medium, anyone that can pick up on stuff, it's really having a heavy toll. But doing small acts of kindness takes that energy and spreads it out.
That's a great point. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for tuning in. When we're looking at these things, and like the wars and all these things that are going on, in those moments where we can be kind, or in those moments where we can offer genuineness to situations, I feel like let me backtrack. I look at like our era and how a lot of us were probably raised is, I was raised not to have labels, right? In our society, you didn't want the labels. So it was getting rid of the labels, living outside of the boxes, where now it seems like boxes and labels are coming back. And I feel like with this, things have become very what box are you in? Because, it's, I don't think I'm explaining it well, but I think you know what I'm saying, where it's, there's no in between, and it's, people are just very, well, what side are you on this? What side are you on that? What side? Where, kindness is something that really can just go across the board. It doesn't matter where our belief systems fall. It doesn't matter where we're putting our values in things. It's a genuine collectiveness that I think is something we can operate outside of these boxes. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I think you're completely right. When you have these labels and boxes, it causes issues sometimes.
Right.
No, everybody's missing the big picture.
Right.
And I remember when I was young, my mom brought me to these spiritual classes with this lovely lady named Elizabeth. And I love Elizabeth. She was wonderful. She was in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and she would greet us all with, just be thankful.
Right.
That you're not waking up in pain. You're not in a war. You're not in a destructive situation. It's all about gratitude. And I think we're losing touch with that with all of these boxes.
Yes.
We got to realize that no matter what or who you are or what your preferences are, that shouldn't matter. And it shouldn't be a war over and over. And I think that is causing a lot of unnecessary issues.
I agree. How do we get back to the kindness, to that standpoint of gratitude, and not judging others, not placing that judgment? Because it starts small, but we have to work together to accomplish this.
We have to throw away those boxes.
Yeah.
And stop labeling and stop shaming people. That's the most important thing.
Right.
And if we don't stop doing that, we're not going to grow spiritually. And that goes for everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
You're not right. You're not right. The only thing that is truly right is helping others, being of service of some kind. And until we realize that, we ain't going to grow.
No, we're not. And, I have these conversations, and this might be going down a rabbit hole, and I don't mean it to, but with people who, and the terminology now is the woke mindset, and having conversations with people who may claim to be very, very open. And what I have found in some of these conversations is they're only open if it aligns with their belief system. And, to me, I really try to, whether I'm talking to somebody, like, personally, I love to have political conversations, not to argue points, but because I like how other people's thought processes work. And, okay, why do you like this? And, what, actually, I might be on a different side politically, but we're trying to get to the same point. And I like that whole big picture conversation. But so many people, they don't. As soon as it comes off the path where it's slightly different than their perspective, it deteriorates. And so I think we need to get back to a point where we can just have conversations.
Exactly. And I think it goes straight back to those little boxes.
Right.
I'm right and you're not right. Too bad. And if I'll destroy you if you don't agree with me. That's not spirituality. Right. Spirituality and love and kindness has nothing like that. Right. That is a man-made thing, and it's sad to me.
Yes.
To point fingers and accuse, or to do something it's a terrible thing. And we're not paying attention to what's going on around us.
Right.
And it's horrifying. We're not even celebrating ourselves doing this.
No. And I think, that's where I was looking to go with this. So I like how Spirit segued it in with you, is if we can't even start with kindness with ourselves, right? Kindness within our homes, our own space, how will we ever get it out? And you can do things like, you can do things for other people, and you can give But if you're not generous with yourself, it really doesn't get that same effect out into society. Does that make sense?
Yeah, self-healing is part of this process of a spiritual movement. And it's hard, and everybody, equates it to like, oh, take a bath with essential oils.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But it's deeper than that.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes spiritual growth is painful. Having spirit stop you and go, guess what? You didn't listen. You're going to hug a sidewalk and you're going to really injure yourself. Now you have to listen.
Right.
And it's a hard lesson when you have to back it up and listen to spirit. For all of us, it can be painful. It can be angering. But with all those other shit going on, excuse my French, around us, that's bad news.
It is.
And we're not listening to spirit. And when you don't listen, how close are we to having so many arguments politically that we're going to cause a war in our own culture?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're so divided. And, Jamie, she makes a good point. And she says to remember we all have a heart and bleed the same despite all other differences.
Exactly, Jamie.
It is, and it's so true. And I look at conversations I have with people I know, because I like with you, I have so many different cultures and things within my circle and belief systems. And just seeing, though, the real underlining anger, and I look at even the things that are going on overseas and the conversations and the arguments and the hate that it's perpetuating all across. And we want to point fingers anywhere we can, and this is hate, or this is hate, and this is terrorist, and this and this. None of it's right. None of it's right. So how do we just prevent? How do we fix? Because what's going on, no matter what reason any of it happened, it's not right. And so how do we start to heal? Do you think we will get into a point that we can heal as a race, as a society?
I hope so.
Do you think that's part of this?
I think we need to do something. I think we need to, and this is going to sound harsh to some people, and I'm very spiritual, and I have no judgment against any religions as long as they're for a better good. But we need to break down those religious barriers that's causing these wars with each other. It always stems back to that, and it's always a pointing finger thing.
Right.
And I disagree with that. And I think true spirituality is acceptance of everybody, where you can be like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
You don't suppress entire cultures due to a belief.
Right.
And I think if we don't change that mindset on every side, on every little box we put each other in, we're going to be in deep trouble. And I think anyone, a medium, an empath, any of us that work on this stuff daily feels that it affects our personal lives.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
It weighs heavy on people. And that's why I'm finding a lot of mediums that I know are sick right now.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it's just so heavy, and people don't listen, and they're not listening on either side. And it is due, and I don't know how to say this correctly without hurting anyone's feelings.
Right.
No religion is worth killing for. Right. Period. No belief system is worth destroying somebody's life over.
Right. No, it's a very hard situation. Just like I said, because there's so little conversation within those boxes.
Nobody wants to say anything.
Right.
It's not politically correct.
Right.
But somebody has to start saying something.
Well, and that's just it. And I think where the conversations have to come from, though, is that authenticity of the big picture, of not pointing fingers, a point of resolution but entire resolution, not a one-sided resolution. There has to be answers within that. Dina has a good question, and we've talked about this, and we struggle to, even people who work with spirit daily, we struggle to listen. And she says, and I know Dina personally, and she says, Steph has told me to listen to spirit so many times.
Yeah.
But how do I do this? What do you tell people that are struggling with that connection, with their personal connection with spirit, to tune in?
I think truly a lot of people don't listen to their gut.
Right.
Spirit has a funny way of playing a joke with us. And have you ever stopped and said, boy, I should have listened to myself? That would have happened. This would have happened. That is spirit saying, hello, I'm here. Yeah. For me, I always tell them meditation, artwork. For me, it's the arts in general, listening to music and listening to your deeper thoughts. A lot of times spirit's not going to knock on your door and be like, I'm here. This is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
We have all these paths and we can choose which path to take. And sometimes the hardest path is what spirit needs you to take. Yes. So you can become that person. Listen to your gut. Yeah. Your gut is spirit telling you, no, yes, do this.
Right. Absolutely.
Just try it once.
Yeah. And, I think what a lot of people don't realize, and I'll have people come, for readings and things like that, but our paths, our life, it's all very fluid. And so, it doesn't mean you go this way or that way that you're not going to get to a certain destination, but it's timing, right? It's okay, maybe absolutely. You went left, they wanted you to go right. There's going to be a couple extra lessons in there. It's going to take a little bit longer. But I do feel like, and that's another thing that people bring up is, what is my life's purpose? I have no purpose. And, but like you said, we're looking at like, what is my life's purpose? Why have I not slain all these dragons? Or I'm not a queen. But maybe my life's purpose was that 15 minutes that I sat down with somebody and helped them.
Yeah.
And you know what? It wasn't grand. They might not even remember my name, but that's what I needed to fulfill. And I think we overlook that.
Oh, yeah. And, the little things of kindness we were talking about, in spirit will throw them your way. You got to listen. Yeah. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I had this bad craving for ice cream. I love it. I'm basically vegan. I hardly eat ice cream, right?
Right.
So I had to go to the ice cream shop. I was forced, and I went in. Nothing even looked good. And then next thing I knew, there was this little old lady standing next to me, and she was staring straight at me. Oh. And she started talking. And I was like, hi. Next thing I know, I bought her ice cream. I sat down for an hour and a half and talked.
I love
to
it.
Ida. Yeah. I talked to her, and we talked, and that's what she needed.
Right.
And it wasn't a big deal, but that's a small thing that spirit wanted you to do. You don't know that one person that you let them talk, you might have made their day.
Right.
They might not have anyone else checking on them. And that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Those small things. I would have never met her. And she was an amazing lady. She had an amazing history. And she had no one maybe to share that with, but she got to share it with one person. And that's an act of kindness. And it didn't cost me anything but a scoop of ice cream.
Right. No, I love that. And, people we undervalue the little moments in life. We really do. We're living for, that vacation we have planned a year and a half from now, or we have to really start being present in these everyday little moments.
Yeah. And we have to start listening to the elderly a little bit. And I know that sounds silly, but they have a lot they can teach us right now, even with what's going on in the world. They've
Absolutely.
been through a lot.
Yeah.
A person in their 70s and 80s, sit down, listen to a story they have to tell.
I don't know if you've ever seen where it's an elderly person looking in the mirror and then there's a reflection, of them when they were younger. Yes. And I love that because especially it seems even more so now, we are so caught up on everything. Marketing is how we look. It's how we dress, wrinkles, our size, we put so much value on. And I get mad because I don't even pick books like that. Like I actually look through a book and read the back and read a couple pages, and we just judge people like that. I spend more time picking out a book or a movie than I do my friends or what I'm going to click on social media.
Sure, yeah.
And, we need to remember these are people that have lived all this time, and we just dismiss them. We toss them aside.
Yeah, I think I'm not bad. I like social media. It's great. But the one thing it is doing is causing this weird facial issues with women, particularly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not marketable because I'm over 50. You know what, ladies?
Right.
Grow up. I'm not Gen X, and I can tell you, I'm having the best time in my life right now.
Right.
We cannot throw away the older generations. They have something to teach us, and they could teach us a lot right now.
Yes.
We just toss family aside. We're tossing that whole thing that we are built on, and family is very important. You don't throw people away. You don't throw the elderly away. They have so much to teach us, and it's our loss.
It is, and there's so much from, even just simple things like we had a ham for Christmas and I have this, the ham bone and some ham left, and I'm going to make boiled dinner. Just simple, like even the old recipes is my point. Like just the value in not being wasteful and how you can use things up or saving money or, just there's so much, there's wisdom in so much that they have to say.
Yes. And that's very important. And a lot of people don't realize cooking has a lot of spirit to it.
It does.
And we're missing out on all that stuff. We really are. And it's sad.
It is. I was talking to somebody the other day and we make these cookies in my family. Ever since I was little, we call them nut tossies. And it's like use a little tart pan and you put a little dough in it and then you scoop in some, like nuts.
Yummy.
and it's very good. And I had shared, and I don't live where I grew up. So of course, a couple states away, foods are different and people are like, oh, I've never heard of those. And so I shared the recipe with someone and I took a picture of it and it's in my aunt's handwriting. It's my aunt's recipe. And she's like, I just love these family recipes, right? That are passed down and, maybe you tweak it a little bit, and me too, because to me, making something that my great grandmother made keeps that connection. And we're losing so many. We think we're connected, right? Because everybody's right here. Everybody you want to talk to is right here on this phone. And we think we have all these connections, but we don't have the deep connections anymore. We don't have good conversations and honest conversations.
Turn your phone off, go walk in the woods for about a half hour a day. And I think I should be doing that because let me tell you, connect. We're missing out on the most valuable connection, not only with our elders, but with our earth, with the spirits around us. We're missing out. We're so busy. And I'm guilty of it, just like anyone else that's a podcaster. I'm always looking for people to interview. Then I run off to work during the day. And I can't run off to work during the day now because I have an arm that won't work now. Right. And that was Spirit's way of going, you're not listening, so I'm going to push you so hard that you're going to break something and it's going to be rough on you. Now you have
Right.
no choice.
Yeah.
And in the past 7 weeks, I went through a depression. I went through crying spells. I
Right.
went through doubting myself. Now I'm at the point where I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Now I'm going to have to
Right.
listen.
The surrender. You're at the surrender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the surrender is almost as hard as crying that
Oh,
first week,
absolutely.
where you're like,
Absolutely.
shit.
Yeah.
And we need to reconnect, and that's why this is happening to people.
Right.
And listen to the night. Open your window if you're in a place where it's warm out. Listen to what's going on around
Yeah.
you, not your phone.
No. Well, and get to a place where I'm very fortunate. We live not, outside of the city in a very small
Yeah.
town. So I don't have all the false lighting. I don't have all the noise. And I think just get to a place where you can hear natural sounds. You don't have
Yeah.
that noise pollution and that light pollution because you get to those spaces
Yeah.
and when you can settle yourself, it's just amazing
It is.
what nature can offer to you.
Yeah, I'm craving. I live in a good sized town, but I can tell
Yeah.
you right now, for the past 7 weeks, I have craved the stars. Just
Yeah.
looking up where there is no noise pollution or chaos.
Right.
And we are just so disconnected with everything. I think we are being told to listen, and it is really up to us as a culture and as a
It is.
race, and not, and we are, it is one race
It
in my
is.
eyes.
I agree. I see us all as people.
Yeah, I
You
crave
know.
the Star Trek life, you know?
Right.
Where you like, it's all accepting, everybody works hard, and everybody is almost all connected to, they're connected to like a job of exploration.
Right.
We need to be connected to make a better place for us and our next
We do.
generation. And it is everybody's responsibility, not just
Yes.
one or two people. It's all of our responsibility.
Yeah.
And
And I have a
nobody can.
feeling, that it's just going to be an argument on how we get there. And that's what we have to stop. We have to start listening, using our ears more than we use our mouths.
And and this sounds cheesy to some people, but we need to listen to the surrounding life, not just human life. There's other life here. Those are the animals. That's the ocean. It is the sky. And we really need to listen to that around us. I lost Stephanie. Stephanie, come back. Hey there, Steph. Stephanie. Andrew, I lost Stephanie. Yeah, I don't know where she went. Stephanie. No, I think I just lost Stephanie because it's still going live. Hi, guys. I hope Stephanie comes back soon. Oh, no. What should I do? Should I get out and go back in? Well, Stephanie will be back soon, guys. I'm terribly sorry. I am
I think we're back.
Oh my goodness.
So sorry, everybody. The lights flashed here and the internet just completely crashed. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You sound a little low.
This is when I miss Todd, when there's technical problems and I can't fix them myself.
I understand.
I'm going to try unplugging my microphone because if this works better.
That sounds better.
Perfect. We're going to go with this for the rest of the show. I apologize. But whatever happened messed up all of my computer stuff.
Do you have snowstorm there?
We don't. We actually, yes, glitch in the matrix, Rez, definitely. No, it's been warm here and we don't have snow. It's actually, my husband joked that if it got any warmer, we'd be mowing the lawn. So that's where we're at. It's the first non-white Christmas. I hear an echo too, Dina. Sometimes that happens when the internet is not stable. And so
I always have problems with SoundStream and hooking up my equipment to it too.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if the internet's not stable, like myself. It's struggling today. But I do want to talk about, before we crash again or anything else happens, your podcast, because I want everybody to know where they can find you. It's such a great podcast.
Thank you. They can find me on iTunes or Spotify or SoundCloud. We're going to expand to iHeart and all of that very soon. I'm also going to I'm working on a couple more podcasts coming up.
Oh, I love it.
Out every Sunday on iTunes and Spotify right now. So
that's cool. And what do you talk about? Yours is, you have a lot of people come on. You cover different topics.
Yeah, I do a lot of spiritual and paranormal type of things. Last week I had Christopher Penzick on. He is the modern day witch. He's written over 20 books. A very sweet, interesting guy. I have tons of UFO, tons of experiencers, mediums, and sometimes a ghost hunter or two. It's something I'm not into, but it's cool to listen.
Right, to hear other perspectives.
Yeah. They're kind of like detectives, so that makes it really fun for me. So I really do enjoy my work. I love talking and listening. So
and you know what? I hope everybody will tune in, because it is nice, especially when you're looking to educate, when you're looking for different platforms, to have somewhere to go to find those different topics.
Yeah. And they're such interesting people. When you talk to them, they all have a story, and I love to hear their life story. And it's making other people comfortable in their own skin.
Absolutely. And I know for me, finding your tribe, finding people who understand was a huge deal.
Yeah, it really is.
But on that note, with the technical difficulties we're still having, I know I'm having a hard time hearing you. I think you're struggling a little bit with my audio feed. I am going to just let you go. I appreciate you coming in. I wish it would be a little bit longer. And I'm going to cut to a quick commercial break before I say goodbye to everybody, too, and see if I can square away some of these issues that we're having.
It's wonderful seeing you, Stephanie, and I hope you'll come back on Twilight Tonic.
Oh, I would love it. I would love to. I just love talking to you. And we get into, I kind of giggled when everything shut down, because we were having some very deep conversation. And, sometimes other things kind of glitch things up because they don't want the message to get out. And so I was like, well, we were on the right track, because they tried to shut us down, but we're back. Not as clear as we were when we started, but we'll continue to educate and fight the good fight for that.
I'll talk to you soon, Stephanie. You have
Right.
a wonderful New Year's.
You too. Goodbye.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, spirits, and the metaphysical? How about Mothman, Bigfoot, and other cryptids? What about UFOs, UAPs, and other anomalous phenomenon? Then you need to check out Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. We have all that and more. Watch our series, Caps Road Trip, where we travel across the U.S. in search of these phenomena and bring you not only the history of these locations, events, and encounters, but evidence that we capture along the way. Alongside our team of researchers and investigators, you never know who will be joining in on the investigations. Are you interested in Bigfoot in Upper Michigan? Check out Finding Heighten, a series documenting the Sasquatch activity on a very special 80-acre property just outside of Menominee that has been a hotspot since 2012. Want even more? Check out our podcasts. Whispers from the Dark is the official podcast of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society and brings you interviews with the top names in the field of paranormal to cryptids and more. Hear witnesses' accounts and go in depth with the CAPS team to hear more about our ongoing research. Are you more into cryptids? Find links to our all cryptid show, Monsters on the Edge, on the Untold Radio Network. If you're into spooky, subscribe now and you won't miss a minute of our brand new series coming soon, Spirits of Macville. Follow along as we uncover the haunted history dating back to 1877 of a very well-known location you may have never guessed would be haunted. Head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a minute.
Hello, everybody. I hope we've lost some of the echo and that you can hear me okay. I'm very sorry for the crash. I don't know what happened. Like I said, things kind of flickered here and I lost you all. So hopefully you can hear me. I apologize that the show was cut a little bit short. I hope you do like the message from the CAPS team. It's a whole lot of fun to be able to go out and do things with them. And oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me, Dina. To get out there and do some investigations and get to know different people. Just like it's a lot of fun to be here and on the show and have that opportunity to talk to people from different modalities, people that have different experiences than myself, and start those conversations. You know, conversations are hard to have sometimes. We're not always going to agree with everybody or their perspectives in the conversation. But have conversations, listen more than you talk, and really try to get to know the person that you want to communicate with and understand their perspectives. That's how we get better. That's how we become a better society is by having those conversations. So since we have a few minutes, I thought I would maybe pull a couple cards. I haven't done that for a while. Actually, I don't think I've done that since I've come back kind of on my own and with Soul Flight. So I'm going to use my soul cards. If you're not familiar with soul cards, they don't have an interpretation. So a lot of times if you work with cards, if you work with oracle cards, angel cards, things like that, they come with a little book that will help you interpret the meaning or what it meant when they were being made. With the soul cards, they don't have that. They are read strictly intuitively. And I tend to read intuitively anyway, no matter what deck I'm working with, I read them intuitively. So if there is anything maybe you've been looking for guidance on, maybe going into the new year, you're kind of wondering, hey, what's going on with the new year? Pick a card. I'm going to pull 3 cards. You can pick all 3. You could pick 1, 2, 3. You could pick just a 3. Whatever you want to do. I'm just going to ask Spirit for 3 cards and see what they got to say. All right. For the first card, and this is what the soul cards looks like. And I have 2 of their decks. I really, really do like them. For the first card, you can kind of see here. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. What I see when I look at this card is this really kind of feeds off of what the conversation was about earlier today with Dee Dee. Communication, getting back to connecting with yourself, connecting with others, having those conversations. Because when I look at this, I see the two people. What's really hard to see in here is this connection here between the two people. And to me, that represents that connection. Getting back to seeing that flow of energy between two people and not restricting that, allowing yourself to connect, and look at, not having any clothes on. So you're very vulnerable, allowing yourself to have those vulnerable conversations, to be vulnerable with other people. A lot of us have so many walls up, right? We don't want people to know the real us. We only want them to know this perception of us and the projection, not who we really are. And this goes back to letting people know that real you, connect with that real you, exchange that information, listen and connect. Card number 2. Okay. And what you can't really see up here with my lighting is it's glowing, just like they're holding this glowing ball here. And the first thing I saw when I looked at this card is this glowing ball, right? Energy, information. Sometimes we hold on to it so tightly, right? This is mine. This is my information. This is my energy. But we need to start exchanging energy, right? It's okay to conserve energy for yourself. It's okay to keep knowledge to yourself with certain things. Not everybody is your friend. Not everybody is a cheerleader for you. So that's okay, right? It's okay to keep some of that to yourself. But at some point, right, you keep carrying this around by yourself, that shit's going to get heavy. You can't carry all of it with you. And that's where connecting with people, finding people that you trust to help share the burden, to help share the knowledge, right? To spread that out. Community is so important. Family is so important. And yes, I agree. There are toxic friends, there are toxic families. Boundaries are okay. Not associating with people that are toxic for you is okay. But that doesn't mean you cut everybody out. You have to let people into your life. And you have to let people connect with you. It's really lonely when we don't allow that connection. Life gets heavy. We think we're conserving our energy because we're not dealing with other people, but it gets exhausting. It's so exhausting to be stuck within your own headspace, within your own emotion, that turmoil, and those things will just keep going over and over. So connect with people, share with people, support each other, and allow them to support you. And this last card. Okay, see there's a man, he's kind of trudging up a hill, and there's a red moon. When I look at this card, to me, this talks about this journey, the journey ahead of us. We are entering into a new year. We don't know what one day is going to bring over the next. We can plan and you can have the best laid plans, but that doesn't mean things are always going to come to fruition that way. We take for granted, really, the limited control that we have over things. And so being open to that journey. Sometimes the journey changes. Sometimes that journey looks different than what we planned. And that's okay. Be open to new experiences, be open to maybe spirits trying to push you in a little, open to those challenges. That's how we grow. We don't grow staying in the same space, staying in the same mindset. We grow through experiences, we grow through community. Sometimes, yeah, I know some of you are saying, well, it's not always great being with other people, or, people can cause you pain or frustrations, but that's all part of this human experience. And if we can affect kindness and bring the change, even in the little bits, that we can continue to build and go forward and grow and help others reach their best self. and just keep that going. I know my internet really is not stable. I wonder if you're having issues in your area with the internet, because mine kind of keeps flickering. So at least we made it almost to the end of the show. Again, I really apologize for the glitch and the delay. I really appreciated Dee Dee to be here. Please be sure, Dee Dee is on Facebook. You can find her under DeeDee Moon Flyer. And her podcast is called Twilight Tonic Paranormal. It's a fantastic show. I have been privileged enough to be a guest on there in the past. I always love the conversation that I have with Dee Dee. We tend to go down those rabbit holes, which is great. And, share the information with other people. No, thank you, my friends, for all tuning in. I really appreciate you. We have some great guests coming up next month, working on maybe doing a little bit more than 2 shows. If I can slip in another guest in there, I might do 3 shows next month. But right now, we have Lucky Paranormal coming in. They are a fantastic paranormal investigative group. I really think you will like hearing from them. And then we have Craig Sampu coming in at the end of the month, and he's going to talk about star seeds. We hear so much about star seeds. What are star seeds? What are the experiences? Why are they here? Is it a thing? You do not want to miss listening to Craig and his information about star seeds. It is going to be a fantastic show. I'm really excited to have him come on. I love that she says what needed to be said. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Send me emails. Let me know what you want to hear on the podcast to come. If there's guests that you would like me to try to get on, I would love to try to have them on. I appreciate being able to stream onto the CAPS YouTube page. I hope that maybe a couple of you that have come across us there enjoy the content. If you do, let us know. If you don't, let us know how we can improve, how we can be better. I would love to be better. So thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful new year. Sending you all love and blessings. And I will talk to you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.